What is going on, everybody? We're here. We're live, Geeks and Gamers Daily on a Tuesday. And it's finally July, Jay. The year's half over. We're halfway done with this godforsaken 2025. But it's July. It's America month. At least America week, you know?
I say so. It's time for Jaws, Independence Day, Jurassic Park, all that stuff, man. Flying the flag, shooting stuff off, eating hot dogs, hot dog eating competition, all that. It's great. It's a great week. It's a great week.
It is just quintessentially America, okay? I talked about this yesterday on my live stream. I said, look, there's something so incredible about the Nathan's hot dog eating contest because
awesome.
It screams, we're American, fuck you.
Yeah.
You got flags flying everywhere. It is just the complete sense of abundancy and gluttony, like all wrapped up into one. Yeah, you know what? I know there's some fucking starving, skin and bones kid in Africa right now who's trying to eat some dirt to fill his belly, who's trying to run away so he doesn't get captured and enslaved by some rival tribe that's been fighting for decades and decades and decades. But you know what? We have like a metric ton of hot dogs that we don't need. We just want to see how quickly people can eat them. And you're gonna watch these people slam 60 fucking hot dogs for no fucking reason while you don't have anything else. Because you know what? We're fucking American and we can. That's how nice our lives are. Get fucked, rest of the world.
That's right. Hot dogs being made from lips and buttholes, apparently.
Dude, I don't care. I don't want to know what it's made from. I just want to eat it.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I think you've been here a few times. There's actually a really great hot dog stand at City Walk at Universal Studios. And every now and then, man, got to get that Chicago dog. I love that one. That one's a great one. They have like hot dogs famous from different states, I guess, or different ballparks. Maybe that's what it is.
It's a lot of different cities, right? In the way like different cities will make their hot dogs and stuff like that. I think they got like a Kansas City dog. They got stuff like that. But yes, I had been there. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Solid. And I don't know if you like, dude, the chili cheese on onions hot dog is one of my favorites. I could just go for a regular plain. Not too much of a ketchup guy on my I like mustard. I prefer it, but I'll be eating hot dogs. I can't wait.
I like ketchup. Dude, ketchup goes with pretty much everything, man.
I do, but I said I prefer. I like prefer. I wouldn't turn it away. If you were grilling hot dogs and you put ketchup on it in a bun and handed it to me, I wouldn't say ew. I would take it and eat it.
My quick, like, if I'm at a cookout or whatever, like, my quick, just make a quick hot dog is just going to be, mustard on one side, ketchup on the other. That, eat the shit out of that. Now, if you're, like, ordering some gourmet shit or whatever, that's a different story. If I got time, I might put a little bit of melted cheese on there, throw some mayo on one side, a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of mustard, some relish, dump it on there. That's mine. Raw onions, I can eat them. Raw onions come on Chicago dogs and stuff.
I love the raw onions, man.
I'm not huge into the raw onions. I'll tolerate them, but prefer nah.
How you cook your hot dogs at home?
To be honest, I very rarely cook hot dogs around other than like 4th of July or something.
Yeah.
I cook them on the grill.
Yeah. Perfect. You're not one of those guys that just grabs a pack of hot dogs to keep in the fridge just in case you need to throw something in the microwave real quick. I'm pretty sure you're not a boiling type of guy. That's not for me, man. But some people like to boil them, and that's okay.
Well, look, that's how all the hot dogs that you're just talking about, they're boiled, right? Like you go to a ballpark, those are boiled hot dogs.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking fantastic. I've never really just sat there and boiled hot dogs personally. I've never done it myself. And I sure as shit am not going to be one of those fucking freaks that throws it in a microwave and then eats it. Oh, disgusting.
Sometimes that's all you got, man. You're wrapping up in a paper towel. You stick it in the microwave. And you don't put it in too long. If you put it in too long, it starts to split.
I'll go hungry, man. I don't need I don't need a microwaved hot dog. I need it like.
And then after you take your hot dog out, you put your tea in. That's how you make tea in the microwave. It's all good, man.
No, I don't know why I'm so very opposed to that. It doesn't taste the same. I don't like the texture. There's something I don't like about microwaved hot dogs.
Now, what I would love, I've seen them. I've never had one, never tried one, but every time I see one, I swear to myself, I want to buy one. It's one of those hot dog toasters. Have you seen that? You can put the bun in and the hot dog, and you slam the thing down like a toaster, and it's supposed to cook everything, and everything's supposed to come out great. People swear by them. I haven't heard a negative thing. It could be, but I haven't heard a negative thing. And every time I see one, I come across, I'm like, I need to own that, but I don't own that. I just need to pull the trigger and get it over with. I think the reason why is because I'm like you. It's like I don't really have a pack of hot dogs in my house except for special occasions.
Yeah, I very rarely eat them. So now you can make the argument that if I had a hot dog toaster, I might eat them more, you know?
That's what I was thinking.
I'm not sure.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm not sure. But yeah, for some reason I've always been opposed to microwave hot dogs. Just something about the texture that does not, I don't like it. It drives me nuts.
I respect it.
So I'd rather go hungry, like all those kids in Africa.
All right.
Alex McCarthy for $2. S tier Tuesday. Meta PC RK Outpost for Drunk 3PO. Hey, there you go. Thank you, Alex. Link in the description below. Check out Meta PC. Hot Dice. We got Jeremy Pump Faked 199.
You ever had a hot dog with like a regular piece of white bread because you didn't have a bun?
I was going to mention that, and we went on a tangent. I fucking hate it. Yeah. I don't know why.
It's not for me either.
We're like, when you ran out of buns and you're like, oh, I don't want that. And they're like, wrap it up. You're like, this is fucking bullshit. I don't want this. And so then like your parents will like cut it in half.
Yes.
And then like lay it down and make a like put 2 hot dogs, cut them both in half and like lay it down in a sandwich. Something doesn't feel right. It doesn't taste right.
Yeah, it's not for me.
I don't know. Very
not particular. For me. I don't even like that with hamburger. It's like, I need a hamburger bun.
There's something about a bun and bread is different, man.
Yeah, we're not uncivilized. Okay.
Bun and bread is different for some reason. Kaleki Oki, more of a hamburger person. Never been a fan of slinging down wieners in my mouth. I am a hot dog and a hamburger person. It's fucking both for me, man. I love hot dogs, dude.
Jay's an elitist. That's right. That's right.
Jay's talking about microwaving hot dogs and fucking wolfing them down. So I don't know how elite he is. Orn Ugandan for 2. Happy day 1 of America Pride Month.
Really saw nothing about. The only thing I really saw about Pride Month was people saying, I'm not seeing anything about Pride Month, to be honest with you.
There was certainly some stuff, especially early on, and a couple people that did change their shit, but it certainly seems to be on the decline a little.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about a story about that when it comes to Disney and Pixar and Elio in a little bit. How they didn't want to, I don't know, push a bunch of propaganda for a company that's already been destroyed for pushing that propaganda. So we're going to talk about that. Tobias Nexus started the day with guys talking about their favorite wieners. I thought Pride was supposed to be done with today. Guess it's never over with Daily.
Of all people to make a sort of statement like that. That's all I have to say.
What does that mean?
What I said?
Yeah.
Of all people to criticize us that we were talking about wieners on a regular. A furry.
Well, Tobias, what would Tobias's favorite like way to do a hot dog? Is it be called the Red Rocket or something? I don't know. Thanks, Tobias. Salty Bum Ryu for 2. Air frying hot dogs is the way. I've never done that. I have an air fryer.
I don't think I've done that either.
I've never done that. I don't use my air fryer nearly as much as I should, probably. Coney dogs are the GOAT. Greek-style chili, mustard, onions. Got to eat a fuck ton when I'm up in Indiana next week. Also, thank God June is over. USA.
Coney dogs pretty good.
Coney dogs are good. No lies. No lies detected, Mo. Grizzly Con. Remember for 4 months. And by the way, the ats are gone. Like yesterday during my stream, I had ats when we started, and then they shifted, and I didn't have the ats for the
Really?
usernames. Yes. In the middle of my stream, it shifted. So I don't really know what that means overall.
That's weird. But you didn't even read that.
I didn't read this one from Grizzly. Jay, what's your P.O. box? I've had one of the toasters since Christmas and don't want it. New in the box.
Man, that'd be awesome, man. Send it. I'll open it live. We'll test it out live. I'll set it up right here. I'll plug it in. I'll do the whole thing. That would be great.
You'll eat hot dogs for breakfast.
I know one of the mods has my P.O. box. I know Lady Aaron D or someone. They'll post it or Jessica, if you don't mind. That would be awesome. I'd love to have that.
Paper Liger for 5. Tobias said, what about Rocket Pops? It is summer. It's hot. Remember the ice cream man going around? What was your fucking go-to when the ice cream man came rolling around?
I was a Choco Taco man until they discontinued it.
That's right, Choco Taco.
It was a Choco Taco. I never really liked the character with the gum nose because it was always messed up and like it looked like someone with Downs, someone like me. Nose all be shift to the ear, and chewing that gum that's rock hard like ice is pretty bad for your teeth. But I always went for the Choco Taco or the push-up pop. Those were like my two go-tos. I have a box of Rocket Pops in my freezer as we speak.
So do I, yeah. I don't often partake, but I do have a box in my freezer.
Yeah.
If I got it out now, it'd probably just be all fucking like freezer burnt to shit or whatever.
Yeah, it's probably
like those are the ones that stay in there for a while.
That's right. I had a moment when I at the grocery store and I bought it, and it's like have one every month.
B Chain for 5. There's a hot dog stand in Cheshire, Connecticut called Blackies. Been around since the 30s. Best burgers and dogs. Ryan would like it because of the name, though. Blackies. I'd be interested. Speaking of Elio, a girl at art school had a crush on me and ended up in an awkward encounter where she got embarrassed and ended up hating me. She was a Disney adult and became a senior modeler at Pixar. A girl in art school had a crush on you. And then she hated you. Maybe she made you, a mentee, into a character in some sort of Pixar thing. We have to talk about Elio today. If I can.
I saw some stuff.
What's that?
I saw some stuff about Elio. Holy crap. They were going all in.
We've spent some time recently talking about Pixar, talking about how their original movies are bombing, talking about how you just see failure after failure. And Elio was one of the biggest failures they've ever seen. In fact, Elio had the lowest opening weekend for any Pixar movie ever. The worst box office opening weekend. And that is not even adjusted for inflation. This is comparing it back to 1995 Toy Story, which made around $29 million in its opening weekend. Imagine what that number would be in 2025, 30 years later. Elio, I think, cracked around 21 million in its opening weekend. Despite having a pathetic opening weekend, it still dropped by 50% this weekend. It is not going to be good for them. Another official bomb for Pixar. And we're starting to see some people try to assign blame. As the Pixar head has been out there saying, hey, we understand we have a problem. We don't just want to make 27 Toy Stories. We want to make original stuff too, but we understand we're struggling. You have some activists within Pixar who are revealing a little bit about the behind-the-scenes chaos surrounding this disaster. And they reveal, spoiler alert, that one of the reasons that the movie got delayed and had to be completely reworked is because in the original version, drum roll, please, Elio, an 11-year-old boy, was gay.
Really?
Yes. Inside Elio's catastrophic path, America Ferrera's exit, director change, and the erasure of queer themes. Creatives at Pixar who saw the original director's previous cut of Elio tell THR about the movie's challenging production process. Elio just became about totally nothing. Oh, you mean once some people may have stepped in and said, hey, I don't think it's the best idea right now for this company to make someone's sexuality the center of this movie, especially when you're talking about an 11-year-old boy. But Holy shit, let's get into this.
That is like crazy, man. Like,
well, and one of the things that's at play here is we've heard a lot from Disney over the past several years about wanting to get away from these things. And we have heard a couple stories inside Pixar, actually, about executives kind of stepping in and being like, hey, take that out of there, take that out of there, take that out of here. Remember Inside Out 2, where a lot of people complained because the executives went to extreme lengths to not let any activists even give a hint that the character might have been a lesbian or something. They just wanted to make it about the story. And that went on to make, $1.6 billion or whatever the fuck it made. And so there are clearly some people at Disney who are serious about that. Unfortunately, over the past 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, you've hired so many activists into this company that one, they're going to continue to try to shove this shit in there. And two, when they don't get their way, they're going to cry foul and complain that you're not being inclusive enough. And now that's what we have here. Those that worked at Pixar while its latest film release, Elio, was in production, were delighted by footage they saw 2 years ago. Yes, people who worked at Pixar. Among the moments cited by favorites by those of the animation studio at the time included a sequence in which the boy collected trash on the beach and turned it into a homemade apparel that included a pink tank top. The movie's team would refer to Elio showing off this to a hermit crab as his trashin' show. But if you bought a ticket to Elio and don't remember seeing this, it's not just because you chose the wrong time to refill your soda. According to multiple insiders, Elio was initially portrayed as a queer-coded character, reflecting original director's identity as an openly gay filmmaker. Other sources said Molina didn't intend the film to be a coming-out story as the character's 11. But either way, the characterization gradually faded away throughout the production process as Elio became more masculine following feedback from leadership. Gone were not only such direct examples of his passion for environmentalism and fashion, but also a scene in Elio's bedroom with pictures suggesting a male crush.
Oh my God. What?
Well,
is this why this movie cost so much? Because they had to go back and change it all? Like, is that part of the problem here?
Yes. They had to completely rework almost the entire movie. Yes, that's one of the reasons that even though they continue to say the budget's 150, maybe that is after they did like completely scrapped everything and that's what it cost extra. But it is rumored to be around $300 million. The Pixar people say, yes, it's well north of 200 million. So take that for what you will. Well north of 200 million could be 300 million, certainly in that range. I do just want to say it's very funny. We're talking about all these examples of this gay kid and they put environmentalism in there. It's like, yeah, clearly, if you care about the environment, you are a fucking gay. Which I do think is just kind of funny.
That is, it's good. It seems like, they're doing that combination thing, where it's like, let's see how many boxes we can check into one character as humanly possible so we can get all this messaging pushed across. In one big swoop. We'll make him an environmentalist. We'll make him gay. We'll make him have boy crushes at 11. We'll throw that all in there. And then I guess somebody was like, yeah, the tide is changing. We can't do that anymore. It's not popular anymore to be gay.
Well, and it's also is because when they screened the movie, it didn't go over very well, period. And that is when they stepped in and started getting more involved. When they saw the final screen, they saw a lot of the queer-coded elements, and they said, we have to change all this. And look at this. Indeed, the summer of 2023 became a fateful one for the animated film about a lonely boy beamed in outer space by an intergalactic organization after being misidentified as the leader of Earth. I suppose in this one, maybe he wanted to get probed. I don't know. The writing was first on the wall for the troubled production when the film from Molina, known as the co-director of Coca, which was an amazing movie, by the way, conducted an early test screening in Arizona. Although viewers expressed how much they enjoyed the movie, they were also asked how many of them would see it in a theater, and not a single hand was raised, according to sources of the event. So that's what raised the alarm bells, is they screened this movie, and it was supposed to come out in early 2024, potentially, maybe even in late 2023. And when they did test screenings and nobody said that they would go see it in a theater, that's when a lot of these changes started to happen. It was around the same time Molina screened his latest cut to Pixar leadership. There are differing accounts of the feedback he received from Pixar boss Pete Docter when the lights went up, with rumors circulating in some of the studio circles that Molina was hurt by the conversation. Jay, could you believe that a gay man got a little emotional when he was told that his gay fucking child movie wasn't very good?
Yes.
That part is clear. The part that is clear is that Molina exited the project soon after. Now, you've got Pixar activists here. I was deeply saddened and aggrieved by the changes that were made, says former Pixar assistant editor Sarah Ligatich, who provided feedback during Elio production as a member of the company's internal LGBTQ group, Pix Pride. Although she praised the new directors, she notes a number of creatives working on the film stepped down after the directors shared the first cut of the movie. The exodus of talent that was cut was really indicative of how unhappy a lot of people were that they'd changed and destroyed this beautiful work. And you have stuff, there's stuff later on where they're like,
that is crazy.
It's clear that this isn't the best possibility of what we saw. We saw the other product was so much better. But the test screening negates that. Not a single goddamn person wanted to go see this shit. So now you have these activists that are coming out and blaming Disney and Pixar executives for removing all the gay shit from this child's movie for why it failed.
It's
dude.
It's just, it's all gonna. We've been saying this for years. So you got to get the activists out. Like they have crept in. Hollywood has given them a green light to do whatever. And it seems like almost every movie studio, from comic books on over, has been affected by activists pushing weird stuff, their weird stuff messaging, you know, and a lot of it's like self-inserts, you know. I'm a gay man or a gay woman, and I'm going to make a movie about a coming out story because that's when I came out. And it's going to be an emotional, and we're going to protect the environment at the same time. Wow, that sounds great. We're all going to watch it. No, being sarcastic here. Nobody cares about that stupid crap. Go back to making movies that are enjoyable, that's escapism, that gives us like an hour to just kind of, you know, have a few laughs, enjoy our time. But no, you want to push this message. What? And now it makes me wonder why he's got a patch over his eye, you know? If like, what was the original story with that? Good God, how disgusting. Get these people out. I'm glad it bombed. It should have done worse. Send a message. Anyway.
And I think probably one of the big mistakes they made was when they saw this stuff, they're like, hey, we need to change this entire thing. You should probably have just scrapped the fucking movie.
Yeah, just like hit the delete button.
Yes, just scrap the fucking movie, take your losses and move on. Rather than throw a bunch of good money after bad and try to completely change something that was built up as something else. And I think one of the reasons, look, they knew that was shit. That's why it didn't get marketed as heavy. That's why they moved release dates so they didn't have to go up against How to Train Your Dragon. That's why all this stuff happened. They knew it was bad. And here we are. Now we're getting the reveals, and all the gay activists at Pixar are very mad that they changed the gay shit and blaming that for flopping, when in reality, look, we pretty much laughed a little bit at this bomb for Pixar, but for the most part, no one's really been talking about it or giving it too much shit. If these had been the headlines, it would have done worse.
Oh,
it would have got an insane amount of attention.
100%. And then what it does, it puts a massive urine stain on Pixar, which means families would be like, well, I don't know if I want to go back and watch another Pixar production because of what they're doing and what they're pushing. So anything down the road in the future, it's just, you kill the brand, man. You kill the IP, you kill the brand, you kill all that stuff when you push this crap. And people have had enough. Even a rewrite couldn't save this thing. Holy crap. You're right. They should have just deleted it and said, yeah, maybe we'll drop it on streaming in a few years.
Yeah, and that's like the argument from some of them, like, well, this entire movie was about this young gay boy's identity, and when you strip away his identity, you're left with a movie that's about nothing. Which again, if when you do that, they should have just said, all right, fuck it. We're going to do this instead of desperately trying to rework it into something that it was never set out to be in the first place. And when you have these people at your company, this is what happens. This is what you get for hiring these activists.
Crazy.
All right. Udite. Pride shrank because people were focused on bigger news. Maybe. Hero of Canton for 2. G&G is more gay if Tobias is here.
I don't know if he's gay.
I don't think Tobias is gay. He is a furry. But, you know, apparently the gayest thing you can do is care about the environment. And I agree. Bro,
you mean you're...
I'm going to throw some fucking trash out my window on the way to the gym today.
How dare you use plastic straws, Ryan? The turtles.
Oh.
The turtles. Use them paper straws that are wrapped in plastic.
I would rather every sea turtle in the world fucking die a horrible, miserable death by choking on straws than have to suffer through one more paper straw in my life.
Yeah.
Got a buddy with a hot dog cart in Omaha called Decent Dogs. The pizza dog is great. Also, pro kraut on my dogs. Every once in a while.
Every now and then, yeah.
Every once in a while. Colorado Kid says gay fatigue. Thank you, Colorado Kid. Dark Knight Rider for 2. Keep the gay kid. Blame the bigots for flopping. They could have done that. Can we get rid of the beanhead animation style? I hate that animation style with their fucking the heads with the like the bean-shaped mouths. I don't like that. I don't like that. Steve McBride for 2. Elio's a prime example of black fatigue, hence flop. He's not black. But thank you, Steven. Ninroku for $1 over on Locals says it's so crazy to me that New Blood at Pixar prioritized their activism when the studio has made so many inspirational films to be influenced by. If they don't get sick of their own slop, the public will. Thank you, Ninroku. Over on Rumble, Derek PG Beller for $1 says listening while on a 10-mile run. Humble brag. Yeah, that is quite the humble brag. 10 miles.
And you're able to super chat.
10 miles is a long way. Yeah, you are super chatting. What'd you do? It would take me fucking forever. Like, no lie. It would take me forever to type if I was trying to run like that, to actually type out my super chat. But I don't know.
I don't even know what running feels like.
I mean, for a while,
I've
done a couple half marathons and stuff like that, and it used to be nothing to go on like a 5, 6, 7 mile run. 10 miles, you're just talking about it's such a big time sink at that point. It's like, man, it's a long ass fucking
I've done
time.
2 5Ks and they were walkathons.
I wouldn't even bring it up then.
I raised money for a good cause.
Congratulations.
Some animal hospital.
I did a first half marathon because somebody was like, it was doing it, and I was like, that's fucking gay. Why would you spend 2 hours of your day fucking just running for no reason? He's like, oh, you can't do it. I'm like, I could fucking do it. I won't even train for this shit. So I signed up for it, and I did it without training for it.
What is that?
I did
10
it.
miles? 7 miles?
13.1 miles.
13, okay.
It's half of a marathon. And I ain't gonna lie, I felt it afterwards. Holy shit, I felt it. But I got it done. So I was able to tell my buddy, go fuck yourself. You did all this training for a couple months leading up to it. I didn't do shit. He felt a little bit better after the race than I did, though. So, and what are you gonna do?
I'll tell you which...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to transition.
Transition, go for it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what he's not going to do. He's not. It's a terrible transition. He's not going to sue Disney like this mom. Disney is facing another lawsuit, Ryan. This time it's at Galaxy's Edge. Are people suing them because they have terrible Star Wars in their parks? No, but that should be considered. The ads on this page is quite crazy. Sorry about that. I'll do my best to maneuver through it all. But a mother is suing Disney here in Orlando for her child being scared by a stormtrooper in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It's the First Order. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I don't know why that keeps popping up. In the latest Walt Disney World lawsuit, a mother is suing after a child was startled by a stormtrooper in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, causing him to flip his stroller and get injured. So apparently, they left the kid alone. Megan Miller, a mother from Arizona, filed a lawsuit against Walt Disney World earlier this month for an incident involving her child. According to the suit, Miller was in Disney's Hollywood Studios, it's here in Orlando, on December 4th, 2023. But waited a while to file the lawsuit. You have to get everything ready, I guess, for it's almost over a year. It's over a year.
It's a year and a half. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the delay was or maybe she was trying to work something out beforehand. I don't know.
Yeah. Crap. The report leaves the child unnamed, though clarifies the child is a minor. The lawsuit explains that Miller's child was sitting in a stroller without an adult nearby when a performer dressed as one of the roaming stormtroopers in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge approached him. The situation frightened the child, leading him to try to move away, causing the stroller to flip. The lawsuit doesn't contain any details about how old the child was or why he was left unattended. Miller's attorney did not respond to questions when asked or reached out.
It's very unfortunate that the mother's name is Megan Miller. I was hoping we could find some type of theory that maybe the kid was Hispanic and it gave him trauma because of ICE or something like that. Yeah. He thought he was going to get deported by these stormtroopers. I don't know. I'm also glad that the lawsuit clarified that the child in a stroller was a minor. Thankfully, we know that the child in a stroller was under 18. I'm going to be real. It sounds like you're suing because your child is clumsy. Okay. Your kid is clumsy and kind of a pussy, gets startled easily. That's what you're suing. So for the rest of his life, this child knows that his mom had to beg for money from Disney because he's weak and he's clumsy.
Well, not only are they suing Disney, they decided to also sue the company that made the stroller her child was sitting in at the time of the incident, accusing them of having an unsafe product. She's going double or nothing here. She's going, trying to get a 2-for-1. She says Disney is negligence, saying the incident was caused by reasons of negligence of Disney in the training, supervision, and control of its employees in the interaction and approach of its characters with guests and children at the park. The lawsuit doesn't describe the extent of the child's injuries other than saying he has medical bills. So there's that. I don't know what's going on my screen. It's going ad crazy. So
this seems like kind of like a nothing burger that probably a lot of people sue Disney for stuff that happens. Who knows what the full extent of this is? Yeah, if you put your stroller there and you're refilling your water bottle or something, and a stormtrooper comes up and says, "Hey kid, what are you doing here?" In their role, just playing along and having fun, and the kid freaks out, hasn't you would probably be upset as a parent in that moment. But this seems a little bit excessive. This seems a little bit wild to me.
So here's what's going to happen. If for some strange reason Disney's going to pay her medical bills or settle out of court or something like that, then what they're going to do is the small interaction that people actually got with First Order stormtroopers is going to completely change. That's usually what happens. Somebody sues a theme park and everything changes. I remember years ago, a mother sued somebody that was dressed up as Tigger. Something like Disney lost, and then Tigger was erased from the theme park for years. They wouldn't bring Tigger back out for guests to meet for years. So maybe this will just keep the Stormtroopers and Kylo Ren are the only characters that walk through Galaxy's Edge 2 or 3 times a day. They just kind of walk through and let people take pictures, and they say some funny stuff like, "Are you a spy? Are you," just stuff like that.
Are you with the resistance?
Yeah, just something like that. And it takes us about 10 minutes and they walk through. All the other characters, Rey, Chewbacca, they used to walk through. They used to have like an R2 droid that went through, and they have taken all that back because of people acting stupid in the park. So if this becomes a thing, you can guarantee that they will not be walking through the park anymore, and they'll just put them behind like a little gate, probably behind Kylo Ren's ship right there. And if you want to meet them, that'll be the extent of what they do. That's pretty much what will happen. It takes one person to ruin it for everybody, I tell you. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
We'll see. A lot of people get paid off for crazy stuff. A lot of people get paid off for crazy stuff that seems like garbage. This one seems like extra garbage to me. I mean, I'm all for Disney having to pay out, but also I think people are really dumb.
I mean, the thing is, if she wins, who's the next person that's going to sue saying I was scared by Kylo Ren? You know, my kid was traumatized by Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren touched me inappropriately when I was at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
That's a lawsuit right there. You know, Kylo Ren, he's got daddy issues. Never know what he could do.
Yeah.
Over on Rumble, I celebrated Memorial Month. Every day would post a pic and a short bio of a soldier who never came home. Freedom isn't free. Well, thank you very much for that, Snex. That is awesome. Thanks, man. B. Barrett for $2 on Rumble. This is exactly why Elio bombed so hard. Parents don't trust Disney to keep gay shit out of their movies. Seems like they were right to be concerned. Apparently, that is the case when it comes to Pixar. And we do have another Disney Star Wars story coming up, actually, Jay. Got another Disney Star Wars story, another story that we've had in the works a million times. But before that, we do have a word from a sponsor thanks to Rumble. So shout out to Rumble for this, and here you go. Summer's here, which means it's time to relax and maybe think about hitting the refresh button. But if stress, sleepless nights, and sore muscles are getting in the way, CB Distillery has got you covered. CB Distillery's 4th of July sale is on, and you can save up to 50% site-wide with code RUMBLE. CB Distillery has plant-based solutions for just about everything. Better sleep, relaxation, mood and focus, even pain after exercise. It's all made with premium hemp grown right here in the U.S. No fillers or artificial ingredients. That's why over 2 million people trust CB Distillery. The 4th of July sale is the perfect time to stock up and save up to 50% off with code RUMBLE. And if you haven't tried CBD, there's no better time. Visit cbdistillery.com and use the promo code RUMBLE. Again, that's cbdistillery.com, code RUMBLE. There we go. So thank you to Rumble and to CB Distillery. Go check out the link in the description below. I've had fun recording ad reads the past couple days, Jay. You guys have not seen the one that was a lot of fun. Hopefully you will see that relatively soon. I don't want to spoil it, but it was the most fun I've ever had doing one. Because I got to eat, which was good.
I know which one.
Yeah, I got to eat, which was I like that. I was good with that, and it was good. So, but we do have to talk about this Disney Star Wars story. Like I was saying, it seems, Jay, like we're just a bunch of goldfish that are swimming around, making loops in a little glass bowl, and every 30 seconds, we forget what we had heard before and something becomes brand new news to us. And we hear the same news over and over again, whether it's Kathleen Kennedy getting fired, whatever. That's what it feels like when it comes to Disney Star Wars rumors. And we had another one pop up over the weekend, and it's about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. It's hard to believe it's been, 3 years? It's been 3 years since Obi-Wan Kenobi came out on Disney Plus, somewhere around there. And this is one of those series that despite the failures of the sequel trilogy, despite the disappointment that so many people had, despite all the bad shit that had come out, Ewan McGregor coming back, Hayden Christensen coming back as Darth Vader, there was some people that decided, you know what? I'm willing to get hurt again. I'm going to get excited for this. I'm going to get hyped because I still care about this character. And Disney hasn't really done too much damage to him yet. Well, it was just a matter of time because Obi-Wan Kenobi season 1, the only season we've seen, was a disaster. It was very poorly received by the fan base. The ratings crashed after the opening episodes. It was a huge disappointment for Disney. They got a lot of backlash for it. Why wouldn't they want to do it again? Yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 gets major update 3 years after Season 1 ended. Years after Obi-Wan Kenobi's run on Disney Plus, there may be news on whether the show will get more episodes. A new rumor indicated that a second season of Obi-Wan Kenobi's in development for Lucasfilm. Obi-Wan was originally billed as a limited series for Lucasfilm, giving star Ewan McGregor another chance to portray the character he made famous in Star Wars prequel trilogy. However, that status may be in line to change, with Lucasfilm and Star Wars hoping to bring another massive hit to Disney+. Scooper Daniel Rickman shared the rumor, but he gave no sign of when Obi-Wan's second season could go into production or be released on Disney+. And, these are a lot of the posts that were going out there. Anytime we talk about Daniel RPK, anytime we talk about Daniel Rickman, I have to remind everybody that this is a guy who puts his scoops behind a Patreon paywall, and over half of them usually turn out to be utter and complete fucking garbage. However, the story got legs, and people were running with it. It was being talked about a lot. What do you think the possibility is that we see Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2, Jay?
Judging by what Lucasfilm is constantly giving us, I think it's highly likely that we will see an Obi-Wan Season 2. In fact, I'm all for it. I really hope. I want to see Reva back. I hope we get a Reva fighting the Emperor scene, Let's see what her true power is. Maybe Reva can now actually be the one that got the Death Star plans and hands them over, in a super secret side mission. Maybe they could rewrite that. Maybe Reva could talk Obi-Wan from jumping off a cliff. Maybe he's just dealing with depression or something. I don't know. And she's the one that saves the galaxy. Not only did she save Luke Skywalker, by not killing him in the end of Obi-Wan, she survived multiple lightsaber stabbings and whatever. I mean, she's the hero that we need to see on the screen for Obi-Wan Season 2, because what a masterpiece it was. Ewan McGregor has constantly stated that he'd love to come back for an Obi-Wan Season 2 because he's probably not doing anything at the moment. So if they're well, Ewan McGregor's on board, why don't we just put something together? So it wouldn't surprise me if they did that.
It wouldn't surprise me either because,
by the way, I think it's stupid. So
it wouldn't surprise me either because it would be a terrible thing to do. The first one was a terrible thing to do. Reminder, we had 2, not 1, but 2 Obi-Wan Vader rematches in this series, which for the record, never fucking happened.
Yeah.
Right. This entire show never fucking happened. Disney Star Wars didn't really happen. It's all fucking bullshit. But yeah, Reva was insufferable, but Reva is the 3rd or 4th worst thing about.
Correct.
It, right. What they did to Obi-Wan, I think, is the bigger problem and what most fans had the problem with. Reva shouldn't even been there. There's no purpose for the character. It was stupid. But that was what so much of the media attention was focused to because of the backlash to the series. They just wanted to say it's all racist that don't like a black woman in this story. When in the reality, the criticism for the character, what they did, the damage they did to a character people cared about, there was much more talk about that than about Reva's cringe part in it. And
awful.
Season 1 was a nightmare. I think it was one of the big turning points, right? Sequel trilogy certainly was a big one. Last Jedi was a big one for a lot of people to step out after what they did to a character they cared about. But when the Obi-Wan Kenobi series came out, you saw a lot of excitement surrounding it, a lot of maybe hesitant from some, but there was real interest in it because with all the shit we'd seen them do, we hadn't seen them fuck with some of the prequel characters yet. Then you get the same exact treatment for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and a bunch of other people said, you know what? I'm fucking done.
The fact that you have Hayden and Ewan back together and people hated it should have been a massive red flag to everyone over at Lucasfilm. These people just love sniffing their own farts and saying it's great. That's all I'm saying. It's you're bringing back these 2 people, and it's just they should have. My theory was, I think they could have gotten away with that show if they had Obi-Wan in his cave, checking on Luke every now and then going back to his cave and having like a time of like a flashback to maybe something in the Clone Wars. And that's it. That's it. Like, don't touch anything. Like, don't mess with anything. And he's just like remembering, like he sees something, a trinket. And he's like, oh yeah, that's from the Battle of wherever. And they do a couple episodes of like a flashback scene or whatever. The de-aging that they used in that series was also like horrendous. You know, it's bad when like they had like Hayden try to make him look like Attack of the Clones Hayden, and then a YouTuber's like, oh, this is awful. I can do it better with the equipment I have on my PC. I can make it look better.
I think it's because they didn't really de-age him. Like
they
maybe
just kind of put his hair up and everything.
I think they maybe just tried with makeup, but I don't think they actually did any like digital de-aging in the sequence. So he looked his age, right? He didn't look 20. He looked his age for that sequence. And I do think when you look at when he came back in Ahsoka, I think he looked better there. I think almost all of that is just because of his hair. Right, it's because his hair covers much more of his face.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't really see some of the age as much. I think that's why it happened. But yes, it was rough.
Yeah. I just think if they were going to do a show, I think that would be the only way that they could have pulled that off. Is if he just remembered like an old adventure that they went on, and they just did that.
That's not so. Look, if you're going to make this, and this is the time period it's going to be set in, it should be Obi-Wan trying to get in contact and commune with Qui-Gon, trying to learn things, that what he was set out to do, and also overseeing and protecting Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
It should not be a gallivanting around the galaxy thing. It should not be rematches with Darth Vader. It shouldn't be any of this shit. It should be a very limited scope of a show and very much about like a personal story with Obi-Wan. There's a book out there called Kenobi. I think it was by John Jackson Miller. That's what that is. Now, you can have elements. It doesn't mean you can have no action or no anything else, right? It's a story about a guy who used to be a Jedi and is still, but he is trying desperately to stay off the radar. He can't be on the radar, right? The fate of everything is at stake. He can't be on the radar. So you have him sitting there and you see people that might get into trouble. He might go into town for supplies and somebody might need help, and he has to make these decisions and wrestle with himself and, you know, maybe even have these arguments with himself whether he should help or should not help. And that's what it should be about. And him reflecting on his perceived failures as a master, his perceived failures as a friend, his perceived failures as a quasi-father figure. Like, that's what the show is. It can't be galactic wide. It can't be him breaking into fucking Inquisitor headquarters and sneaking Leia out with a fucking trench coat.
That was probably the most hideous of all. Everything about that was just, and then coming up to like a laser gate where you could clearly see, you could just calmly walk around it. Or they throw a little fire on the ground and Vader's like, I can't go any further. There's fire. Help me. Oh my gosh. They approved that, man. They freaking approved that and said this was good. Unbelievable.
Blue-Eyed Scorpio for 5. Watch new Terminalist trailer. Gotta say, I'm not that intrigued. Prequel just doesn't do it for me. The new Terminalist trailer is out. Yes, you are correct. I have not watched it yet. Terminalist Dark Wolf. You want to watch this teaser trailer, Jay? Did you like Terminalist?
I've never watched it.
Terminalist was really good. Chris Pratt is James Reese. It's a book series by Jack Carr. And season 2 is in production now, I believe, which I feel like it happened a long time ago because it did happen a long time ago. But there is a prequel series that is coming out surrounding one of the stars of the original, one of, James Reese's friend. Taylor Kitsch is starring in it. Chris Pratt's going to be in it a little bit, but it is a prequel series. Terminalist Dark Wolf. I have not watched this teaser yet.
When we step on that battlefield, we fight for each other.
You're moving on a restricted target.
Which is why it's so hard to give up that brotherhood.
You had to
shoot him to end the fight.
An example needs to be made.
Along with this insignia comes the trust that we put in you to wear it. You've broken that trust.
I'm not gonna apologize for what I did.
Thank you for your service.
Is it that obvious?
I need 2 shooters for a time-sensitive op. I'm offering you a chance to finish what you started. And to keep your brothers from danger.
If we do this,
Eyes and ears in position.
I need to know that you can find the brakes.
You have my word. You do not have to carry this weight alone.
RPG!
The only way out is right through it.
There you go.
What do you
There's the
think?
teaser. That's coming out in August. What'd you say?
What do you think? I gotta watch the first one. I hear nothing but great things about it. But
the first one's really good. I think that it's one prequels and spinoffs and stuff like that. Look, you had 1 season of this. I thought the first season was really good. I thought his character was really good in the first season. But I don't want to really get into spoiler territory for that season for anybody that hasn't seen it. But to me, I wonder why you choose this character to do this for. I'm much more interested in season 2 of Terminalist. I'm much more interested in James Reese. But this is what's coming. I will definitely watch it because I love the first season. And I thought the production was on point. I liked it. I liked the story. They changed a lot of things with the book to the series to adapt it. It was a good adaptation, but they switched around the order of a lot of events so that you didn't know what was going on as quickly, which I think actually played a lot better for television than it does when you're reading the book. So I'll check it out. I'll check out Dark Wolf. I like Taylor Kitsch too.
I gotta
you should go watch the first one.
I should, yeah.
Mr. G for 199. What do y'all think about the Street Fighter cast?
I don't know anything about that.
I saw the Asian chick that got cast.
There you go.
It's like, oh wow, look good. I don't really care too much about Street Fighter. I'm gonna be real. Master Austin with a gifted membership. Thank you, Master Austin. Gonzo Sean for £2. Stormtrooper finally managed to hit something.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He's like aiming for somebody else, maybe.
Did you get that super from yesterday?
Oh, good point. We should, there was a super chat that got sent in right at the very end of after we'd already done with the stream.
Didn't mean to interrupt. Just double checking.
No, that's okay. Where is it? Where are your fucking DMs? Here it is. Damian J. Yesterday, it was about 2 minutes after we had already ended the live stream, so he might have been a little bit behind. For $20, said, honestly, we're all past the point that we don't care if we're called racist, homophobic, sexist, etc. Just because we don't like certain things that Disney, MCU, and Lucasfilm creates. If it's trash, it's trash.
Yes.
Thank you, Damian. Sorry we didn't get to that yesterday, and thanks to Jay for reminding me because I asked him to remind me. So I wouldn't have remembered. Nick Hammerschmidt. I ain't giving Disney money, so I bought Theory's Sabers instead. Do you guys get any with Theory's 4th of July deal? Can't say I did, but
I was lucky enough to be given one as a gift when I was in Dallas. So, and I have a couple of Instagram videos of me showing it off. So, yeah.
Brian Grumps for 5. Mom, is this stroller blaster proof? Salesman, no. We're going to do the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs. Great Con. I can't believe these people are making me actually support Disney. I don't know about I don't know about support, but when I hear a story like that, it would be really funny in the news if Disney had to pay $300,000 for some bullshit case. However, just speaking realistically, seems kind of fucking sus and ridiculous to me.
Yes.
The lawsuit. So I just got to be honest. Negligent for $1, and it's Jay.
Thank you. Look at me as Superman there. And a headband.
D's Webos for $5. Deport the Karens to India. Watch White Girls in India.
I wonder how, like, honestly, I wonder how many lawsuits theme parks actually face every year with, like, just people, like, getting mad at cast members, getting mad. Like, it's freaking 100 degrees plus 100% humidity. Most of these fat people that come here, like, haven't been outside their whole life. They spend a week here. They're miserable. They sweat. They stink. They're spending a lot of money on food. And then if they trip or stub their toe, they're angry and they want somebody else to pay for it. So I wonder. We went over some of the lawsuits. I remember last year, somebody actually sued the Peter Pan ride because it wasn't going fast enough. And they had to go to the bathroom. So apparently they waited in line and they got some kind of urinary tract infection. It was crazy. They waited in line. The line was long. They had to go to the bathroom, but they didn't want to get out of line. So they got on the ride, and the ride, I guess, stopped because every time there's like a crippled trying to get on, they got to stop the ride to help them get on. And so apparently it didn't move fast enough for them. They lost the lawsuit, but it was just like, you're kind of like, what in the world?
Yeah, they probably face a lot of bullshit stuff. Look, I am fucking severely annoyed by almost everyone, and I walk around these places and probably think everyone's incompetent. And but it would take a lot for me to, like, I'd have to suffer some pretty serious fucking damage to sue somebody, I think. Like
you fall off a roller coaster and break your arm, then it's like, okay.
If the roller coaster broke and I fell out and that happened or something, right?
Yeah.
If it was me doing something stupid, I don't know if I would have I don't know if I have it in me to fucking come up with some bullshit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't your fault at all. Like,
yeah. Or if some fucking semi, fucking some drunk semi driver fucking T-bones me and I have to fucking go for all these medical bills or whatever, then maybe like something like that. But I don't know, dude. Dark Knight Rider for $2. Jay better hope Disney mascots can't sue guests.
There hasn't been one yet.
CJ for $5. It's amazing how badly Disney destroyed their own continuity in a few years. They need someone like Leland Shee. I would not envy that job. Yeah, they need someone to actually do it and somebody with some authority to say you can't do these things. Luckily, Deborah Chow, who directed who's the showrunner for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, luckily she had a touchstone she could go to with all of the lore questions, with all the continuity questions. She bragged about that repeatedly. That was Dave Filoni. So thank God that Dave Filoni was there to make sure that everything was right with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Shadow Saiyan for $5. Have Obi-Wan explore the hive of scum and villainy. Have Obi-Wan might hit a stage where he's drinking a lot, he's fucking depressed, he's getting lap dances by Twi'lek slaves and shit. We could go that route with it, I suppose. Funny Bunny Fortnite for 10. The Kenobi lightsaber fights look like they were filmed with a flip phone. It's pretty rough. It's McDoubles. Hey, Ryan and Jay, should people be mad at Captain America for saying the exact same thing about Tony Stark and cut Riri Williams some lack? Some slack, you mean? It's McDoubles. No, look, I don't know exactly what line you're referring to. Like when you're talking about that, obviously people have fights. People actually have relationships with some other people and they have disagreements or whatever, right? And they have that. However, this is a show in a comic book in which Riri Williams is presented as the successor to Iron Man, essentially. So when we have these digs at this character coming from the person who's supposed to be a successor to them, as opposed to somebody who might be viewed as somewhat of even though they're on the same team, they might be rivals of sorts, so they might be frustrated with the way each other does something. They're contemporaries, which is a much different thing. So I don't know exactly what line you're referring to, but the answer would be fucking no. Hope that answers your question. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And with that, We're all caught up. Look at that, Jay.
Tuesday is in the books. We survived.
Tuesday in the books. What do you got going
on? Just some more Transformer comic review videos on the way. And I think tonight is Tuesday night's main event where you won't see me or Ryan.
You might see me. We'll see.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just kidding. I won't be there.
Oh. That's about it.
All right. Well, there you go. Thanks, Jay. Thanks to the chat. We appreciate you guys. Jeremy's still streaming, apparently. He's been streaming over us the whole time, so you guys can go there and watch him. Thanks for hanging out with us for a while on Geeks and Gamers Daily. And we will talk to you guys next time. Bye, everybody.